Good afternoon, dear members of Speaking and Beyond. A very heartwarming welcome to all of you. Thank you so much for joining today's evening session and meeting number 76. My name is Mazahir and I'm serving today in this meeting as a Sergeant at Arms. As a Sergeant at Arms, my duties are very simple. I just need to request people to take care of the basic hygienes of the meeting, such as if you have joined using your laptop, then you may want to probably put any other noise-making device on silent. Take care of the 3 basic rules that we follow in Toastmaster. Do not and try to avoid as much as possible to talk about politics, sex, or religion, because as much as you may enjoy talking about it, others' sentiment may get hurt. So do take care of that. Apart from that, for the online, please do take care of the mute, unmute button. Please remain muted unless you've been asked to unmute. Take care of your video. It's always nice to see people on video, so please do switch on your videos. And this meeting today is going to be super duper fun. With that note, I would request and with a huge round of applause, let's welcome our presiding officer for today's meeting. This person is an energy. I will be Toastmaster Kevin to take up the stage and proceed with the meeting. Toastmaster Kevin, over to you as a presiding officer.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Mazahir, for that wonderful introduction and to be the face of today's meeting, and also for giving us the ground rules of how the meeting should be run. Welcome everyone to meeting number 76. And I would now like to see if we have any guests who have joined us. Yes, we have Rajesh. But before I ask Rajesh to give us a self-intro, I just want to give you a small outline of what Toastmasters is all about. As you all know, Toastmaster is a public speaking forum where you get this opportunity to speak and get a feedback on how you have given your speech. And this will eventually make you a better public speaker. And this is a constant practice that we do every week. So we spend 1.5 hours of time to be a better speaker tomorrow. So that's the whole idea of becoming a Toastmaster. And Toastmaster is an international forum, and we have speakers and speakers or club members all over the globe. So we can become a club member, not just in our club, but in any other club in this entire world. So welcome to today's meeting. And with this, I would like to now request Rajesh to give a small self-intro of how you came to know about a club, and also to give us a small intro about yourself.
Hey Kevin, this is not my first meeting at Speaking Beyond. I'm an active member of Intel Talk Masters, and yeah, I follow the ORR WhatsApp group and I get to see all the invites. So I thought, hey, Sunday evening, I'm alone. What do I do? So I thought, hey, let me know, why not join a Toastmasters meeting?
Sure, Rajesh. It's a pleasure to have you here. And thank you for joining our meeting today. And with this, I would like to now take this meeting forward, and I would like to hand over the stage to our Toastmaster Sachin. Toastmaster Sachin, over to you.
Thank you, presiding officer, and good evening, Toastmasters and guests. The theme of the day today is Monsoon and Memories. And since we are approaching the rainy season, I think it's a very relevant theme today, especially during the global warming. I'm sure everyone has got good memories of monsoon. Some may not have that good memories during their childhood. As for me, I have really beautiful memories of monsoon. We used to live in a place called Kalitalla in Calcutta, which was famous for Kali Temple. It was a business hub with almost hundreds of shops dealing in iron scraps, ball bearings, and generators. But the area had poor infrastructure in terms of drainage, and even little rainfall would result in water logging in that area, and it will take hours, sometimes several days to take the water out of the area. Heavy rainfall will result in 3 to 4 feet knee-deep water in the area, which would result in the closure of all the shops, schools, transports. So kids had fun as they had break from their schools. Since mobile and cable TV was not invented during that time, the mode of entertainment was very limited. The most popular one was VCR. And the VCR players had great business during the waterlogging, as they charged exorbitant rates for 12 hours of VCR hiring. And the VCR, but what were those days when 30 to 40 people used to sit and watch, videos for at least 12 hours, 4 or 5 movies at a stretch, and entire family enjoyed. They laughed together, they cried together, and that was really fun. I remember watching horror movie Evil Dead during one of those rainy days, and I still remember the screams of my cousins, which is very still fresh in my memory for that horror movie. These are my memories of Monsoon. Now, for the interest of guests, a typical Toastmasters meeting has got 3 sections. Prepared speech section, where a speaker delivers a prepared speech. Then comes the table topic session, where the table topics master gives any title of his choice and picks up randomly person from the audience, and that person has to speak for 1 to 2 minutes. And then the third section is the feedback session, which is the most important session, where the evaluators and the general evaluators give feedback of the entire proceeding. Now, with this, I'll pass on the baton to the general evaluator of the day, Toastmaster Preeti. Toastmaster Preeti is a marketing and communications professional and an IBMer. She is a responsible wife and caring mother. Over to you, Toastmasters Preeti.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sachin, for giving me this opportunity to serve as a general evaluator today. As a general evaluator today, my role is to evaluate the meeting from beginning till end and to give a comprehensive feedback at the end of today's session. I am going to look at things that were good, things that could have been better, and the things that I am going to carry back from here. It is a high responsibility job, and I am being chaperoned by my tag team, where T stands for timer, A for R counter, and G for grammarian. To start with the timer role, I have Toastmaster Senthil, who is going to explain what the role of a timer is and display the timer cards. Over to you, Toastmaster Senthil. Please come forward and explain your role.
Thanks, Toastmaster Preeti. So I'll be watching through the speeches and will be helping the speaker to complete the speeches on the stipulated time. For prepared speech, I'll be showing the green card at 6 minutes. Hope you can see my background green. I'll be displaying this. At 6 minutes for a prepared speech, at 6.5 minutes, I'll be showing a yellow card. And at the 7th minute, I'll be showing a red card. The speaker has 30 seconds buffer to wrap up his speech to get qualified. And for table topic, it's going to be 1 minute, 1.5 minutes yellow, and 2 minutes it's red. And for speech evaluation, it's 2 minutes green, 2.5 minutes yellow, and 3 minutes is red. That's the typical role of a timer. Thanks. That's it. Over to you, Priya. Sorry.
Thank you. For the next, my next tag team member, we have Toastmaster Anand, who is playing the dual role of being at the R counter and grammarian. Toastmaster Anand, please come forward and explain your role as an R counter and also introduce the word of the day and the phrase of the day as a grammarian. You are not audible.
Good afternoon and greetings of the day, Madam General Evaluator, Toastmasters. Let me explain to you the role that I'm playing today, the R counter role. The purpose of the R counter is to note words and sounds that are used as a crutch or a pause filler by anyone who speaks. During the meeting, I will listen for overused words, including and, well, but, so, and you know. I will also listen for filler words, including and er. I will also note when a speaker repeats a word or a phrase, such as I, or this means, this means. At the end of the meeting, I will report the number of times that each speaker has used these expressions. Thank you, Toastmaster. Since I am playing the role of the grammarian as well, let me continue and explain the role of the grammarian. It is my responsibility as a grammarian to pay close attention to all speakers, listening carefully to their language usage. I will take note of any improper language as well as any outstanding words, quotes, sayings, or thoughts. As grammarian, it is also my duty to introduce the word of the day. For today's meeting, the word of the day is emancipation. Emancipation is the act of freeing someone from restraint, control, or the power of another. It is especially used for the act of freeing someone from slavery. And one of the specific usages that I can talk about here is 15th August is a nationwide day to commemorate the emancipation from British rule for India. So emancipate or emancipation, the ideal word to be used should be emancipation in its noun form. And I would welcome to see speakers doing that today. I have only the word of the day today. So in due course, if you allow me, I can put in the chat window the phrase of the day as well. Back to you, General Evaluator. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anand. That was taken up role this is a high responsibility job of not just doing one role as a counter, but also taking care of the grammarian part. Thank you so much for taking this up and being a sport. So me and my team are going to keep taking notes and come back to you at the end of the meeting with our findings. With this, now I will pass the baton back to our TMOD of the day, Toastmaster Sachin. Toastmaster Sachin, over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Preeti. Now, we'll now move to a prepared speech section. And since I am the evaluator, I'll just read the speech guideline of the first speech, where the speaker is attempting pathways, project, and 3 people. The purpose of the project is for the member to determine their style of humor and apply to a speech that centers around a central message. And the notes for the evaluator: the member completing the project is working to develop their ability as a humorous speaker and to better understand their own sense of humor. The member will deliver a well-organized speech. The speech should not be a report on the content of the engage audience and humor project. Now, with this, so our first speaker is Toastmaster Kevin. Toastmaster Kevin believes that everyone have their job hunting experiences to share. After job hunting for a while, you become a specialist in that area. So Toastmaster Kevin, job hunters, Toastmaster Kevin.
Hello, am I speaking to Kevin? This is Gautam calling from B. Are you looking for a job change right now? I'm sure most of you are familiar with the sweet call after you updated your Naukri profile the last night. You might have heard of Great Depression. I'm sure most of you have heard that the recession in US is almost imminent in the coming months. We are living in the times of great resignation as well. with India projecting as one of the highest resignations, India expecting one of the highest resignations across the globe. As supply struggles to match demand, people costs and attrition numbers will continue to be high, said the report by the HR firm Aon. The study analyzed data across 1,500 companies from more than 40 industries, and attrition across sectors is estimated to be 21% in 2021 compared to 12.8% in 2020. Now, what are the common reasons or simple reasons for job change? These are some of the points that at least that I have noticed. First one being, office said no more work from home. You have to come back to office. Better opportunity and life standards in places abroad, especially places like Canada and other European countries. Better career opportunities. Better salary hike. Bored and frustrated with your bosses. Want to pursue higher studies. If you're a big brand lover, that is, you only want to work in big 4 companies or the biggest companies in this world. Extra perk, that is, even gourmet experience for that matter. If you're getting free food or Sodexo open in another company, why don't you go to that company and leave your existing job? Now, here's an interesting scenario that I have at least come across through one of my colleagues in my own organization. So basically what happened is this person was actually quitting. So we were going to give him a farewell because he is quitting. We happily got together, we had a fun time, and we gave a great farewell for him. And then we had this small conversation on what is the percentage hike that he's going to get in the new company. So he said he's getting around 60 to 70% hike. And it is a normal thing that we will also feel bad that why is this person getting 70% hike when I am still saying my own salary. Then he leaves us and we give him a gift. We all of us shared and bought him a gift, and he left us. And after 3 months, he calls me and says, "Hey, I'll be back. I got another opportunity with our organization and I'll be back." So I said, "Okay, you're coming back. That's great." And then he says that, "Yeah, they give me 30% hike. So I'm more than happy to come back." So this is these are some of the scenarios that I think some of you might have also come across with these kind of scenarios, which is quite common these days. And the other common scenarios common situation between hiring an IT employee and non-IT employees. For I being from a non-IT background, because I am from the HR background, my wife being from the IT background, the number of calls we get on a daily basis clearly shows the difference, especially when you are someone from a niche skill set IT background. So my wife from the morning by around 9 to 10, she'll start getting calls. In a day, she gets 7 to 8 calls. And I, on the other hand, might not be receiving that many number of calls. So she will say, "Oh my God, they have started calling me." And then she'll pick up the call. And one day I even felt like I was standing in a HAL vegetable market. The reason being, the conversation went something like this. They were like, so the first question she asked, she is much quicker than them after receiving so many calls. She'll ask them, "Which company is this position for?" So they'll say some random IT company. And if she's not heard of that company, she'll straight away say, "No, I'm not interested in." Finished. And if it's a good company, if it's a good brand, then they will say, then they will start the negotiation right away. They'll say, "Okay, ma'am, 18. So she'll say, "No, 20. Then they'll say, "No, 21 final, ma'am. No, I'm not interested." So this is the kind of conversation that the IT people and mostly have when they are looking for a job. But me, on the other hand, what I did is I told her, "You do one thing. If you're so frustrated in taking those calls, just give me those numbers and let me give them a call and ask them if there are any opportunity for me in their organization." So I tried that out and I even got an interview that way. Okay, so these are some of the hiring situations that I've seen. And on top of all this, the people also sell their offer letter. So at one point they'll start getting one or two, or maybe and one or two is just a few. There are people who get 5 to 6 offers, and they're confused on which to take, and they will be selling this offer to get a much better offer from another company. And imagine if the salary was at 10 lakhs, this person will sell the offer and the salary will go up to 20 lakhs. And they'll happily join the company, and the company is also happy to have them. So companies, after realizing that anyways these days employees are not sticking to their organization for more than 2 years, why should we give them the provident fund gratuity and medical insurance and instead go for a contract job? So this way, these people can happily stay in our organization for 2 years, and we can also happily have them. There's no need to bear extra cost here. So companies have also become smart after employees have started job hopping, and that this has been a regular practice these days. And so that being said, I just want to also take you across the mindset of employees before and now. So earlier, like before, during our great grandparents' age, the bosses were like gods and they were working like slaves. Then came our fathers and our parents' times when they were like the people who were like working to make sure they can cover the EMI, rents, and school fees, and they will not do job hopping as there were lesser opportunities available. And then came today's generation where opportunities are surplus in the market, and what they're looking for is only a good brand name, a good quality of work environment, and great frequent offsite trips and hang out with colleagues, free food. If all these are there, and that too, if there is a lot of competitive nature in this aspect as well, they tend to move the company just for this. Money is definitely a great factor in changing jobs, but then the quality of life that they get is also becoming a greater factor. With this, I would like to end my speech. But before I end the speech, just one last thing, that even if you are a good employer or not, there's one most important, good employee or not, there's one good, most important thing that you have to do. That is, when you leave your organization and join a new organization, just make sure that you tag all your managers till date and all the organizations till date and put that on LinkedIn, so that, and there's a social media team for the other company who will be tagging you in return and thanking you for joining the organization. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster Sachin.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kevin, for a great speech. Now, we'll now move to the table topic session. We have a special person who is acting as our table topics master today. He lives in Bangalore, and his fondest memory of Monsoon is playing football in mud and watching others sleep on the ground. Let's see here for our table topics master, Toastmaster Arindam. Over to you, Toastmaster Arindam.
Thank you, Sachin, Toastmaster Sachin, for the warm welcome. And I think what a lovely speech I heard from Kevin. I think I enjoyed it at the fullest, and it makes me it makes me believe that I think I can also try this game of full salary negotiations with my different companies. Thanks a lot, Kevin, for this idea. Okay, so we are to the exciting session of table topic session, which is also in a challenging section for all of us. The purpose of this meeting is to practice the skill of impromptu speaking, and you all will be given a Monsoon image where you have to speak for 2 minutes, and 1 minute is the qualifying round. Please note that timer will be showing the green card at 1 minute, yellow card at 1.5 minutes, and red card at 2 minutes. And we all will also get 30 seconds of time to complete our thoughts and finish the speech. I would also suggest make sure your speech has some opening message. It has middle where you can give an example and also a summary at the end of the speech so that it becomes a complete speech. And would also suggest, like, with all of you have to use the word of the day, which is emancipation, which means that freedom from the slavery. Okay, all right. Let me see whether I have this permissions to share the PPT.
Arindam, are you able to share your screen now? I think you can.
Just a minute. I'm just trying
Right.
to.
No problem.
Uh, let me know if you are able to see the screen. All right. So we have 9 topics, and these all images are borrowed from World Wide Web, and they are full of memories from our childhood. And what I will suggest that each image will make you go to your memory lane, and you can talk about your childhood, any example, any reference point, anything which you remember, be it from your childhood, be it from your younger days, or be it from last week as well, and anything of you. And let's see. I hope it is entertaining this time as well. So, who will go for the first topic here?
Toastmaster Random, because we are only 7 members today, can I request you to go by the order and make sure that all of us take up a topic?
Yeah, sure. So I can see, Kevin, you want to try first?
Yeah, sure.
Which number?
Yeah, I'll go with number 9.
So there's a topic. When the first monsoon rains hits the dry earth, there's a pleasant fragrance which comes from entire universe. I'm not sure, I'm sure I think that you would have felt it, and you'll be waiting for again this time as well.
Absolutely. When the first monsoon rain falls on the dry earth, yes, that fragrance is very much there in my mind, and that is really wonderful, especially if you are staying in a place where it's very hot. For example, my native is in Kerala, where it's like very humid and hot, and when that first drop of rain falls on the earth, that smell, the real meaning of the smell can only be satisfied at that point. But places like Bangalore, where we have a very good climate here, and when it rains, it's always good to see a rain, especially the last rain that we had at least 2 days back in the night. It was like I think the most heaviest rain that I've seen in months. But then at least these days that smell is not there anymore. But then we have this flooded roads, and especially in my place, we have this place where I think we have the biggest traffic jams all across Bangalore in this particular corner here. And rain is adding to the unhappiness of the residents here. But then, yeah, always the first raindrop will have the smell. Later on, if it continues for a while, and if it's in places like where I reside in, it creates a lot of traffic jams. So rain is always good to see from the balcony, but then when you go out to the road, and if the rain is always, it is continuous and is still there, it will just add the time that is required to reach from one point A to point B. It will just increase your travel time. With that, I would like to hand the stage over back to Toastmaster Indra.
Hey, thank you, Kevin. What a wonderful speech was there. And yes, it basically brings some joy as well. And with lot of things comes with the monsoons, with different kind of fruits, different kind of thing. And also it there, but nowadays Bangalore has become or especially the Panathur road has become a huge traffic jam, and then you don't like this monsoon season as well if it lingers a lot. Yes. Okay. So we'll move to next speaker. Toastmaster Sachin, you want to try? Let me go back to the first slide. 1 second. Which topic you want to try?
5. Oh, 5 has been taken, right?
No, sorry, I think 9. Topic number 9 been taken.
Okay, 5.
So the topic is joyful mornings with puddles became our playgrounds.
Sure. Puddles.
Puddles are the ditches, right, on the roads.
I understand. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Good evening, Toastmaster and guests. It's a nice picture. I can see the kids, dancing, and the rain. It's raining, and they are just playing on the puddles. And it looks like the puddle doesn't look like puddle. It looks like a pond. I mean, that's the that's what they can feel, the puddle as a pond. So I can just correlate this with my childhood when we used to go to schools, and as I said, I used to stay in a area where even a little rainfall would result in waterlogging. So we never had this kind of puddles, but the entire area was a pond, and we loved going to school in that flooded water logging. We used to take the shoes in our hand and bag in our other hand, and then wear raincoats and go to school. We loved going to school by wading through the water, playing, dancing, and even if you were late to the school, nobody lambasted you, because they all knew that it has rained and the entire area has waterlogged. At least he has come to school. So it was fun while going to school. If it used to rain in the morning and the area used to get flooded, it was a different fun. Wading through the water, reaching the school, and then sharing your experience with your friends. So it was really fun, and we really loved. And the entire street, which was waterlogged, became our playgrounds. So that's really a memory which I still cherish till today. And now we have all become older, and wherever we are staying, we don't see water flooding very often, and we cannot now enjoy as kids. But yes, those memories keep the child in us alive. And whenever we see rain in the morning while going to offices, those memories, erupt, and they, the old, and they keep us alive. Thank you, and over to you, Toastmaster Arinder.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sachin. You just reminded me as well of my memories from the school where we used to enjoy the similar thing. And it also reminds me of my daughter who still enjoys this playing games with puddles and though Shobha Remakers or the apartment where we do not get to see such puddles, and she's very lucky, but she still, wherever she finds it, she still plays with it and makes her clothes dirty. Okay. Thank you for sharing your memory. Okay. So we'll move to the next speaker. Toastmaster Senthil, you want to try a topic here?
Yes, I'll go with 7.
Nice. Here's this topic.
We identified as things. Okay. Okay. Just start my timers. Just to make sure Okay, so school days, rainy season are probably the memorable days for kids, probably stressful days for the parents. They don't know how their kids is going to come back to home. Yeah, and yeah, raincoat is something that going to be little tricky to identify a friend during a rainy season. Yeah. Looks pretty similar. You have to go close to a friend and see pretty much. It's going to be very difficult identifying a friend with the raincoat. So, another thing that comes to my mind of. I think that's pretty much, couldn't get much on this topic. Then we can move forward with the next one.
Okay. No problem, Toastmaster Senthil. Okay. Toastmaster Preeti, should we give another topic to Toastmaster Senthil?
Yes, we can try giving him another topic.
So maybe let's let the guest also speak, and we can come back to Toastmaster Senthil later.
That should work.
Okay.
We have a guest, Rajesh here. Rajesh actually was also, he didn't introduce himself fully, Rajesh. So Rajesh, are you not playing a very central role in the area as well? You are on mute, Rajesh.
Yeah, no, I'm not playing any area roles or anything. I'm pretty much into the regular membership. That's all.
So Toastmaster Rajesh, you want to choose a topic from here.
Sure. No. Bottom of the list, I can pick 10. So we had one gentleman speak about Calcutta, but let me take you to the west coast of India, where I felt emancipated whenever I saw sun, because rains were the most feared timelines of the year, or rather the rainy season was the most dreaded season the entire year for me as a school kid. Now, if you're wondering why, Rajesh, it's such a beautiful season, trust me, you're wrong. When your school is on the western side of the railway tracks and you live on the eastern side of the railway tracks, the rains completely inundate the transit point where you have to go underneath the train's railway track, where a bridge or so-called underpass used to exist. And I literally had to swim through it. And Ola, I learned swimming while going to the school thanks to the rain gods. And if you're wondering if there are moments or experiences where I felt I lost a lot of things from my bag or something, trust me, I lost my self-respect. There were moments where I walked in with entire bag, shoes, raincoat and everything, and I would come out completely naked. Fortunately, I was still a kid, so it was not violating. But trust me, if you're all wondering that you've seen the worst of the rains in Bengaluru, trust me, folks, go book your flight today, if not sometime, and go visit the suburbs of Mumbai. Try to travel by foot from eastern side of the western side of a suburb and enjoy the experience. And trust me, you will feel emancipated once you come back to Bangalore. Back to you.
What a wonderful speech, Toastmaster Rajesh. I'm sure I will never go to Mumbai in rainy season. And yes, I think we all know what rain plays a havoc in Mumbai. We have seen on the movies, on the televisions and the news. And yeah, yes, I think we are lucky to be in Bangalore, especially in Parathur Road. Okay. So thank you for sharing your memory here, Toastmaster Rajesh. We'll move to the next speaker. Toastmaster Anand, you want to try the next topic?
Just give me a moment to think. My 2 lucky numbers have been taken, so I have to now look for the 3rd lucky number. I have normally 10 lucky numbers. Let me go with number 4.
That's my lucky number. Yeah.
Okay, timer can start. I don't think so. My mom scolded me ever for getting drenched in rain. Like the earlier speaker, Rajesh, I stayed in the western part of the country for 3 long years. A place called Lonavala, which has maximum rainfall or near to maximum rainfall in Maharashtra. For the 2.5 years that I stayed there, we had holidays not for summer, but for the rainy season. We were lucky enough to have a car to drop us by to the school and bring us back home. But there were days when the car was not available, and the only option was to walk back home. If I recollect now, I think it would be about 2.5 to 3 kilometers. We would come walking from under the trees to avoid the rain. It was not so much about getting drenched in rain, but I think getting those water-filled gumboots home without leaving them outside was what I would get scolded for. And the best part would be to empty that shoe just near the stairs, and a whole lot of muddy water would flow down. Memories of rain memories of rainy season, the mist, the fog completely emancipate me from what I'm doing today. And if I ever get a chance, I would want to go back and stay in that place of my childhood, Lonavala. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you for bringing back my memories. Back to you, Table Topic Master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anand. I think, yes, I think this is something which I also felt that we never get drenched like this. But at least whenever we were coming to the roads, our shoes will be full of water, and next day we were just wondering what I will wear. And there were some days where I used to wear the same socks, same wet socks, and go back to school. Thank you for sharing this fond memory. So we'll go back to the topic list. Toastmaster Preeti, you want to try?
Sure. I will go with number 8. Yeah, this is a great topic. The damp uniforms were an excuse for holiday, but mommy had different plans. Thank you, Toastmaster Arindam, for giving me this topic. This definitely resonates with my childhood memories of having wet clothes, wet uniforms, and we used to imagine that this is going to be an excuse for not going to school next day. But obviously, our moms were hard workers and go-getters, especially when it comes to their child going to school. No matter what, be it rain, sun, or hailstorm, they used to make sure that we never miss school, and obviously our tiffin dabas. So yes, we had gray skirts and white shirts, and I remember the gray skirts had got white patches of iron on it because it had been so much dried using the iron. I am not sure if you understand what I'm saying, but then this was a reality where our gray skirts were filled with white patches, and it used to be a testament to the fact that it has been ironed while it is still wet. So as much as we used to hate our gray skirts and the white patches on it, but that was an indication of the fact that we are not going to miss school next day, be it rain, be it any kind of natural calamity. Yes, I am also I am also from Calcutta, and it used to see heavy monsoon rains, waterlogging on the streets. But our moms were achievers in pushing us, and made sure that we were present in the class no matter what. With this, I'll close my topic. Thank you.
What a speech. Thank you, Toastmaster Preeti, for sharing this fondest memory of you around this uniforms. And yes, I think day before yesterday, I think my daughter was asking me to allow her to wear the jeans because her trousers were wet, and she's like, Papa, why don't you give me allowed to wear this jeans? I will go with this to school. And I said, no, let me iron the wet clothes, and I will make sure you are going in the same uniform. So yeah, that's the memory which I have it for the recent one. Thank you, Toastmaster Preeti, for this wonderful speech. Do we have anyone left?
We should give Senthil another chance if he's
Yeah.
willing.
Toastmaster Senthil.
Yeah. Probably I'll go with 3. Okay. So as I mentioned, my childhood days are in Chennai. Probably I'm there in Bangalore for the last 15 years. I'm not staying very much close to Chennai, but probably I think 5 years back I was there in Chennai during a heavy monsoon. It was a very different experience. I don't know, the severity of rains has increased. Probably you get a boat at your doorstep. Anything, you get a boat to get a safer place. You get foods dropped in a terrace from a helicopter. You can see political parties setting up relief camps and helping people. All those these are the key things that I feel are the impacts that I recently seen because of rainy season. However, in Bangalore, other than traffic, I don't see any other major, probably, yeah, any other major sufferings for the people in the rainy year. But unlike, as I said, towards Chennai or south of South Indians, most of them are severely impacted with their day-to-day life is completely taken away by this heavy monsoon. That's it. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Okay, thank you, Toastmaster Senthil, for sharing your memory. You have it for this image. I think, yes, I think this image also brings me to the memory which I had it, where we used to sail, put some paper boats and put on the muddy waters on the roads. Nowadays, I think there is no more muddy waters, and we don't get to, or kids don't get to go to the same road where we have it. And now she basically put this boat on a utensil which is full of water, and then she will put it there and then just see how it rotates. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Senthil, for this sharing your memory. I think we are back to the main slide. Do we have a time for more? Toastmaster Senthil?
Yeah, we can go one more.
Actually, Anindam, we can complete the remaining 3.
Okay. So anyone wants to try a topic from here?
Yes, Anindam, I would like to try.
Can we request Rajesh to try one?
Yes. Rajesh, once more.
Yeah, Rajesh, yeah.
Sure. One.
Do we have one topic?
Ah, wonderful.
Now, from the west coast, let me take you down to the southern eastern coast of India to a city called Visakhapatnam. Now, for all the folks who are planning to plan a trip to Goa, don't worry, forget about Goa. I will recommend you a cheaper place with similar beauty of beaches, hills, and really laid back people. That is none other than the city of Visakhapatnam. The majority of my childhood was spent in this city, and my parents, being the typical South Indian Telugu family, they introduced me to something called as filter coffee. And that's how my parents and my grandma used to call them coffee, not coffee. The early morning aroma of freshly grained coffee beans poured in a hot water so that the slow dripping coffee decoction falls in, and you taste your early morning fresh filter coffee with fresh milk. And to make it more memorable, imagine sipping this hot cup of coffee as the rain falls. Now, my mother, especially in the evenings of my summer vacation, when the rain season just begins in Visakhapatnam, she used to add a flavor to it by making something called as very colloquial to my place called as punugulu. Punugulu are nothing but maida and a bit of onions, carrot, and chili sliced together, put together, and fried. Now, with all your siblings, all your cousins around in the summer vacation, in the rains, coming back home, sipping hot cup of coffee with this punugulu. What better moment can you ask for? While I talk about it, it takes me back into time and gives me that nostalgic feeling of how I actually enjoyed my life when I was a child with no strings attached, no stress, and no tension. And today, when I think about it, I am, of course, indeed enjoying my cup of coffee, but not with the same sense of enjoyment. So, what is it that you're missing? Probably we should all pack up our bags, go visit Vishakhapatnam, get away from all the work, and enjoy that punugulu with fresh coffee. Back to you, Toastmaster, table topic master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rajesh. I think what a wonderful topic, what a wonderful memory you gave us. And I'm sure I'm going to try Pulugulu if I said it, pronounce it rightly, and I will definitely order it, if possible, from here itself. Okay, so we'll go back to the title, first one. Toastmaster Kevin, you want to try?
Yes, Arindam. Topic number 6. Yeah, definitely. I can share an example for this. So this happened when me, my mom, and sister was walking in a pavement in Kerala, in a place called Thrissur. That's my native. So we were trying to escape the splash because in Kerala is another place where we have heavy rains. And there are certain people, not just in Kerala, but everywhere in the world, who are very inconsiderate about the people who are walking on the roads. They think that they are the only ones on the road. And so they just drive past the puddles as if they are doing some, they get some kind of joy. But the fact being, they are spoiling their suspension as well as our clothes. So I recently even saw an Instagram reel where this person was holding a stone in his hand. And there was a car coming from the other side who's going to splash the water. So he just shows the stone. Then he immediately slows down and it takes the car through the puddle. So there are certain inconsiderate people in the roads where I think we have to shoot. Probably we have to carry a stone and walk around during this rainy season. Thank you, and back to you, Toastmaster Arindam.
Yes, Toastmasters Kevin, I'm sure. I think I being the car owner, I will make sure I will drive slowly on the Panatur roads, especially in front of our apartment where so many puddles. See.
No, we can excuse Panatur Road being more like ocean.
Yeah, I think I often like try walking on the road and then try to see from which puddle or from which dish the water can splash on my on my clothes, because it's very difficult to try. And nowadays motorists try the different ways they will come on there, and they will try to avoid those ditches. And no matter, like, you might think, yeah, they will not come from this side, but they might come on the other side, where you are standing. So yeah, I think that's the memory which I have it. Okay, do we have any other topic? We left with topic number 2. Do we have time for more? I'm just asking Toastmasters, Senthil.
No, we can close the last one now.
Yeah, we can close the last one. Arindam, do you want to give it a try? Your own topic, since we are less in numbers.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yes. Good evening, Toastmasters and dear guest. The topic is, and sometimes unexpected guests at home made our day. I think I still have these memories where frogs jumping on in front of my doors and I'm just waiting to see how many frogs we have it on the front of door, and my mother is asking me to get inside and then study instead of watching frogs jumping on in front of the door. And I think and I think we used to we I think I still remember, I think we used to basically go behind the frogs sometimes like make them run or make them fast, or make them, sometimes I think would also try to play with them by throwing them by throwing them outside, or by basically kicking them. Sometimes what are the things we used to do it just with the frogs. And then this is something which I enjoyed it a lot during the monsoon season. I never bought the frogs inside the house just because of fear of my mom. But yeah, definitely I enjoyed these unexpected guests. I will see like this expected guest during the monsoon seasons. And I think this basically brings me to the similar memory which I had it with my daughter, who still enjoys this frogs, but I think she misses it. I think she doesn't get that kind of memory. I think that kind of experience in this Shubhadri makers, because the frogs are no more on the apartment flats. Yeah, that's it for I had it this memory on this topic. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster Sachin, TMOD.
Thank you to Table Topics Master, Toastmaster in the what a great session. The topics were very simple. They were all related to the theme and they're very well thought of, and everyone was able to speak on the topic. That's the highlight of the session. And from Toastmaster Kevin's thought on the first drop of rain and on the earth and its smell, Toastmaster Raj's experience of learning swimming in the suburbs of Mumbai, and Toastmaster Anand's views on never getting scolded by mother when drenched, but getting the scolding when coming with a water-feed gumboots inside the room. And Toastmaster Pitty's thoughts on how mummies were go-getter and aren't were close to ensure we were present in the class. And then Toastmasters Raj's idea of having punugulu in Visakhapatnam sipping coffee. Is all were great thoughts and a very well conducted table topic session. Big round of applause for Toastmaster Arinda. With this, now we'll move to the feedback session, and I'll hand over the virtual stage to G of the day, Toastmaster Preeti.
Thank you, TMOD Toastmaster Sachin. Now, thank you for the great speech that Kevin gave us and the lovely, entertaining table topic session we had. I'll come to the general evaluation as we go forward. But for now, let me introduce you to the evaluator of the day, who's going to share his insight on the speech that Kevin gave today. So evaluator of the day is Toastmaster Sachin. Please come forward and give the evaluation.
Thank you, Toastmaster Preeti. And in particular, thanks to Toastmaster Kevin for a wonderful speech. The topic was job hunters. So Kevin started with an intro about the Great Resignation, and then moved to the body where he spoke about the reasons for job change, and he spoke about three generations, how they take job, whether the first generation was our father's generation who stick to the job, never change job. Then came our generation who worked for paying the EMIs, who are working for paying the EMIs and other monthly expenses. Then comes the new generation who works for the better quality of life. Money is important, but all this message you gave in the body, a well constructed body. Then comes the conclusion where you said that you concluded well, I'll say. Now, what went well? The purpose was to create the humorous speech, and you succeeded at that. There was a humor in the speech, and you managed to evoke laughter a couple of times. There was a clarity of speech. There was a vocal variety. You had a eye contact with the audience. You engaged the audience well. There were there were gestures. These all were positive in your speech, positive thing about your speech. And the areas where you can improve. One is that you can stand and deliver a speech that makes it more, impactful. The second point is your conclusion should be with a more powerful message. Apart from that, Kevin, it was a great speech. As I said, you delivered with a lot of confidence, and you were able to make us laugh a couple of times. So overall, it was a great speech, and congratulations, Toastmaster Kevin, for your great effort. Over to you, G of the day, Toastmaster PT.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sachin. Now is the time to call my two pillars of my team being played valiantly by Toastmaster Anand and Toastmaster Senthil. Toastmaster Senthil, I will urge you to come forward and give a timer report.
For the prepared speeches, Toastmaster Kevin has taken 7 minutes, 25 seconds. And for the table topic, Kevin has taken 2 minutes, 5 seconds. Sachin has taken 2 minutes, 45 seconds. Senthil, just 1 minute for the first speech. Rajesh has taken 1 minute, 20 seconds for the first speech and 1 minute, 47 seconds for the second speech. Anand has taken 1 minute, 45 seconds. Preeti has taken 1 minute, 50 seconds. Senthil has taken 1 minute, 20 seconds for the second speech. Kevin has taken 1 minute, 25 seconds for the second speech. Arindam has taken 1 minute, 42 seconds. And for the speech evaluation, Sachin has taken 2 minutes, 25 seconds.
Thank you, Toastmaster Senthil, for that detailed timer report. Next, I will move to my next pillar, Toastmaster Anand. Please help us with the emancipation of the crutch word used and also the grammar used in the session today.
Thank you, Toastmaster Preeti, General Evaluator. I will start with my feedback on the R counter role. Unfortunately, we have not been able to emancipate ourselves, and I will bring out, I tried to share. Are you able to see my screen, which has the Excel file? Yes or no? Okay. So we crossed double century in terms of our performance. I have listed out for everybody what all we have done. The R is very, very highly used. If we had 6 more, we would probably have reached 150. The and has been really highly used. If we had 7 more, we would reach 50 there. I observed that the speeches and the table topics, the flow of sentences came about in patches, and therefore there was no other option but to introduce a or and. And I would request each of the speakers here to please note down this, keep a mark of it, and improve this in the coming sessions. Something that we must practice if we want to reach a different level in the future. Rajesh here as a guest, he is a winner at various contests, and you can see that the line is practically blank for him. The reason being, he has attained that level, and something that I would want to learn from here as well in the future. Thank you so much. I will now move to the report on grammarian. Let me first call out some of the good usages of the word, whatever we have done. Some good words that we use today: exorbitant, comprehensive, chaperone, Great Depression, attrition, niche, wading through the water is a phase, lambasted, waterlogged, or waterlogging came in many times. I was surprised the memories of rain were captured by people here, all about traffic and waterlogging. How times have changed. How times have changed, my dear friends. When we were talking about I used to put a small insect like a centipede into the boat and let it go instead of an ant. But yes, memories that keep coming to us, inundate, literally swim through it, lost my self-respect. Of course, that was with respect to rain and nothing else. Nostalgic feeling, no strings attached is a solid phrase to be used. Sense of enjoyment. Towards the end, we had words like inconsiderate. And there was one nice phrase, it was a very tacky one, I would say, spoiling their suspicion and our clothes. So something that the speaker will remember. I think that was a good one. So these are the good usages. The not so good usages. The word living was pronounced as leaving. This was in the beginning. So my observations are right from the beginning, and therefore it will happen like this. Then there was one speaker who said, office said this. No, I don't think we say office says something. The officials would say that, or the admin department would say it. So we probably have to add 2 more words there. Office doesn't say anything. Complete our thoughts and finish our speech. I think that's an improper usage. It's about, you can use instead of that, express ourselves and wind up our speech. Go to your memory lane. Instead of that, we can say, go down the memory lane. Anything of you that comes, instead of that, anything that you are reminded of. There was a topic on fragrance, real meaning of smell. Now, please understand, friends, smell, fragrance, and aroma are all 3 different. Smell is always used with a negative connotation. Fragrance is with respect to flowers, earthly fragrance, agarbaktis, incense sticks that we use in India. And aroma is with food objects, whether they are beverages, hot beverages typically, or hot food items, or whatever that could be. So smell, fragrance, and aroma are to be used in different ways. We can't say smell of the earth. Then obviously there has been a cow or a buffalo which has passed just now, and therefore the earth smells in a certain way. Yeah. So that's the way. Most heaviest, no, most and heaviest. So it is only heaviest that needs to be used there. You can't have another adjective word to be added to it. Different fun. It was a literal translation from Hindi, alag hi maza. So it was a different fun. No, hold on. We don't have to translate Hindi into English. You could have probably said it was pure fun and joy, or it was pure fun that we did that, instead of saying different fun. In a pavement, no, you don't go in a pavement, you go walk on a pavement or on the pavement. I being the owner, I think the correct usage is myself being the car owner or myself being the owner. Myself is the word there, not I. And memory, which I had it with somebody, I think it was mentioned with the daughter. Memories which I can share with my daughter, or memories which I can share with my family members. So that's my report about the good words used and the not so good usages. We must try and all look for these in our coming sessions. There is a lot to learn for me as well. This was my second attempt on the R counter and grammarian in all these years. I hope I have done something to add value here. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anand. That was such a brilliant R counter and grammarian report. So one thing that I'm still looking at is how many times the word of the day was used today.
It was used twice.
Thank you for giving that report. Let's go back to the beginning of the meeting. The beginning of the meeting was introduced by our Sergeant at Arms, Toastmaster Mazahir. The meeting started 5 minutes late, and Toastmaster Mazahir gave a great introduction in terms of the hygiene that is to be followed in the meeting. Then we had the introduction by the presiding officer, Toastmaster Kevin, and then came our Toastmaster Sachin, who played the TMOD. He gave a good introduction to the topic, to the theme, and which set the ball rolling. Then we had our table topic master, Toastmaster Arindam, which brought in a lot of creativity, and the pictures shared definitely brought in the nostalgia and helped us evoke the sense of our memories coming flooding back and bringing great thoughts and great ideas, and obviously helping us with our words to build and give shape to our thoughts. And next we had our speaker, Toastmaster Kevin, who gave us great insight into job hunting. And I'm sure all of us today have learned something from him, he being the HR himself. And Toastmaster Sachin, as an evaluator, he did a great job in evaluating Toastmaster Kevin in the last moment. Please give a round of applause to him for standing up in the last minute. Now, the general evaluation. The one thing that I all want the participant in this forum to be cognizant of is looking into the camera. We are now in an increasingly digital world where we are meeting people virtually every day. So much so that virtual fatigue is a term and is real and is becoming a problem. But then still we have to learn to look at the camera while we are speaking. This is not just to make sure that we are engaged with the audience, but also the fact that we know how the audience is reacting to our conversation, how the audience is reacting to what we are speaking. So as Toastmasters, we should build that skill wherein we know that what we are speaking is making an impact on the audience, and how is it making. If it is making a negative impact, we should immediately switch to something positive. And if it's a positive, we should look at building it more and more. So that's why it's very important that we learn to look at the camera. And if we are not in front of the camera, at least looking at the audience while we are speaking. So this is one aspect that I want to really call out. The good thing that I am taking back from this session is while observing Toastmaster Anand, he was using great body language, which really helped me pay attention to what he was speaking, especially in terms of when he was describing the gumboots, pouring water out of the gumboots. So I think that's also a very important aspect that we as Toastmasters take note of, that we have to introduce body language when we are speaking. This helps get audience's attention, and also the fact that it makes our speeches, it makes our conversation a little interesting. And obviously, we are all here to learn to capture attention of the people we are speaking to. And what are we taking back? Well, definitely I'm taking back, again, I'm calling out Toastmaster Anand, the report, the our counter report that you shared today. It was a brilliant piece of work. It definitely gave me an insight into what we are speaking and how we are speaking. Obviously, the century mark that we crossed on collectively as a team today definitely gives us an opportunity to understand that we have a lot to learn and a lot to look forward to, a lot to improve. So please, if possible, if you can share that report on a WhatsApp group of the team meeting, it will definitely help us all give an insight into how we could better ourselves. And one thing that I really, really want to call out today is, because the session was about monsoon, because the session was about the smell of the rain, any of you, do you know what is the exact word for the earthly scent that is produced when the rain falls on dry soil?
Petrichor.
Yes. Yes, Rajesh, you're absolutely correct. There is a word called petrichor, which is the earth scent produced when rain falls on the dry soil. This is an ancient Greek word, and it means that maybe I will put this in the chat. It means that the word is constructed from ancient Greek rock or stone, and the ethereal fluid is the blood of the gods in Greek mythology. So this is a word that you would want to know more about. So with this, I will close today's session. And I am thankful to the people who called me to become a GE. I think Toastmaster Kevin will share the poll details.
That's right. I'll be sharing the poll in the group. So you can just stay in the group for today.
Okay. And now I'll be back handing it back to the presiding officer, Toastmaster Kevin. Thank you so much for having me as a GE.
Thank you, Toastmaster Preeti, for that excellent evaluation. And yes, I really have to take the name of Toastmaster Anand for coming up with that wonderful R counter and grammarian report. It really did justice to the role. And yes, we really had a very good, interesting session with a lot of insights and learning. And it was a great session indeed. With this, I would like to now call the meeting number 76 as closed. And is there anyone who would like to give a final feedback on how the session went and any areas of improvement?
I just want to ask Rajesh if he can attend our meetings. Rajesh is a winner, so I would want him to be here, speak, deliver a speech perhaps in one of the sessions in the coming days. Rajesh, if you find time, if you have nothing to do, you know, probably we can serve you some virtual punugulus and coffee here.
Sure, Anand. I think we've met in other external meetings quite a number of times.
Yes.
And this is my best way of learning is to attend meetings across the city, given that it's all online now, and this is helping me. And what you can do is, especially I like table topics, and this is my forte or my strength that I'm trying to work upon. And storytelling and table topics are something extremely interesting. So that's why I always try to spin a story. Either it goes south or it goes somewhere else. So it's okay. So we can experiment. I'll definitely try to make it up. Next 2 weeks, I am out of Bengaluru. Once I'm back, I'll see Sundays evenings. Usually I'm at home. Sunday evenings, my wife doesn't want to go out and do anything. So she says, I would rather stay at home and relax. So I'll definitely take out some time and attend your meetings for something different then. Sure.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It was a struggle initially to attend the meeting. Thanks, Kevin, for following up with me and giving me all the inputs on how to join. And I realized that it's better to join from laptop. So the persistency helped.
Absolutely, Rajesh. It was really a pleasure having you here, and it was wonderful to hear you speak as well. So yeah, looking forward to looking forward and seeing that you will be attending further meetings from Seeking and Beyond.
Definitely.
I would also like to call upon Toastmaster Senthil. I think it was a little bit of a contradiction for him. He coming from Chennai and the topic about rain. And finally, when he had to speak about rain, he spoke about the floods in Chennai. So, I mean, today's session was mind-blowing in a very another way. You know, like everybody's experience was about, oh no, hold on, you know, what is rain? What are you talking about? But I can tell you 15 years back, probably we would be saying something else. You know, we're still younger and talking about some other things. But look at what life has done to us. Even rains are like a no-no nowadays. But yeah.
Different intensities of rain.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you, Toastmaster Senthil. I think those are memories. The reason that I recall that is because we did some CSR work for those stuck in Chennai rains. Okay. I remember in previous organization. Yes. That was again something that we were looking to do in case something else like that happens in the following years. Touch wood, nothing has happened like that, but yeah. That's about it. Thank you so much. Yeah, good done here, Toastmaster Kevin.
All right. Thank you everyone for all the feedbacks. And with this, I'll be ending the meeting and the recording. And you guys have a nice day.
Thank you so much.
Take care. Bye-bye.